If even part of your heart is in San Francisco, you know this is a beautiful city. It is also the perfect place for our series Going Green, for there is a concerted effort to make this city environmentally correct and thus, if possible, even more beautiful. We've seen natural gas-powered taxis, more solar panels than we've seen anywhere else, and we've noted a passion here for recycling. It is really interesting to see what's going on in San Francisco, and we're joined here by ABC's Brian Rooney. Brian?
Well, Charlie, who would ever have thought that the fog city would become the green city? But they like to be on the leading edge here. This is the first city to actually ban plastic grocery bags, but it's a lot more than that. This is where the desire for change, the technological know-how, and a huge pool of money for investment all come together.
Shift is on for Bonds. Bonds hits one to left center field. He hits it well.
The primary source of power at the Giants ballpark is Barry Bonds, but they're also adding solar panels to make electricity for the scoreboard.
When people hear that we have solar power at a baseball stadium, a Major League Baseball stadium, people will start to listen about solar power.
In fact, the skyline of the city by the bay is changing. At the Episcopal Cathedral, they've seen the light too, and it's an energy-efficient fluorescent bulb. They even have a priest who preaches across the country that green is godly.
God calls us to be the stewards of creation, and we can't just continue business as usual, or we're no longer the stewards of creation because we're ruining it.
There's a locally produced cartoon show, The Unsustainables, that has fun with going green.
The plaza. Lighting is everything.
You might want to use compact fluorescent bulbs. They're cheaper and use 70% less energy. I'll get them.
Sometimes going green means exactly that. These are some of the 1.7 million plants that are going to cover the 2.5-acre top of the new California Academy of Sciences. They call it a living roof.
This is an artist's conception of how it'll look, but it's not all grass and light bulbs here. Huge amounts of money made here during the computer revolution are now pouring into new energy technologies.
Last year, I think the funding, the venture capital funding for green or renewable technologies was something like $1.5 billion. This year it'll be $3.5 billion.
Big companies are also jumping in, announcing new green initiatives. Yahoo says it's going carbon neutral. Google will give any employee $5,000 to buy a fuel-efficient car. Apple Computer says it'll recycle more of its products. And the new offices for the Public Utilities Commission will have electricity-generating solar panels and wind turbines hidden in the architecture.
There will be days it can run by itself, self-sufficient.
Absolutely. And it will be the most energy-efficient building built in the United States to date.
And that building is just fascinating. Charlie, it'll generate 40% of its own power. It will recycle some of its own water. And keep in mind, these are the utilities people. The elevators are going to be powered by water pressure.